everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Caterina, or Cat, and this is Infinite Wellness Within. In today's Pick a Card reading, we're looking at your February 2026 insights. Once you choose your card, you can find the timestamps in the description box below, which will take you to your reading. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is also linked below. Please remember that is the only way to book any of my services with me. If anyone ever reaches out to you, just know that is not me. And today I have the High Priestess from 3 different decks for you. This is how you'll choose your group. And I chose the High Priestess because February is month number 2, obviously, and the High Priestess is number 2 in the tarot deck. So let me go through each card for you. Group number 1, this is the High Priestess from the Modern Goddess Tarot. And you also have the blue lace agate. Group number 2, this is the High Priestess from the Star Maiden Tarot, and you also have the green opal. Group number 3, this is the High Priestess from the Light Seers Tarot deck, and you also have the rainbow fluorite point. Please take your time choosing your card or cards. It's perfectly fine to choose more than one if you're drawn to more than one, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, group number 1. You have the blue lace agate, and this is your High Priestess card from the Modern Goddess Tarot. So I'm going to put this back in the deck so that we have it when we get to your tarot cards. But one thing that's really catching my attention is that the High Priestess is actually holding an egg, and it looks like the egg is actually cracking right in the middle. So there could be something going on for you in February where you're about to give life to something, or there's a major cycle or a major turn of events in your life. There could be something that is revealed to you that you are waiting for. And yeah, so that's it. I just wanted to mention that before we actually get into your cards, which we're going to do right now. All right, let's see, this one and this. Oh, okay, you have 3. So you have a win-win outcome is forecast full moon in Libra. Wow, that's exciting. And you know, with the scales here, I feel like if something was out of balance, that's going to be fixed for you in February. Everything feels very kind of like even, like something is smoothed out almost in February for you. Also, for some of you, you could be receiving some sort of contract for work that you will be doing. And it's like, it's all so positive. It's very, very positive. I feel like there's, oh, sorry, geez, that was pretty strong. I feel like there's something else with this card. Maybe there's a person who's going to play a very prominent role, like a very important role in this situation. I'll keep that in mind as we go along. Okay, so you have Show the World the Real You, full moon in Aquarius. Are you doing something where you're going to be presenting something to the world, like you're ready to like bring something to life? Or okay, the feeling that I'm getting is kind of like if you're presenting something, or if you have a talent or a skill, maybe you signed a contract to do that work. Like if you're like an author, or if you're an actor, an actress, a singer, musician, you know, anything like that. Or if you got a new job, or you're going to do public speaking, or if you own your own business and you're going to launch that business in February, you know, so anything like that. And it doesn't have to be those examples. This is a general reading. But yeah, it seems like you're, you know, remember your first card? Let me grab it real quick. The High Priestess with the egg here. It's like you're breaking, oh, maybe you have a breakthrough with something and now you're going to show the world the real you. But it definitely feels like there's a new start for you in February. And also with show the world the real you, I feel it's also important that you are yourself, that you believe in yourself, and that you will receive, I'm feeling like popularity, you will be visible to the public eye, and it will be well received. Or you will be well received. Okay, so it's time to take action, new moon in Aries. What is going on for you in February? Wow. So I feel that February is not a time to back down. February for you is going to be a time to get out there, put yourself out there, take a leap of faith if it involves something like that. Don't hesitate. Go forward. Make things happen. Yeah, it just feels like February is your time to come out from behind the shadows. Because you know what? Let me bring this back again. The High Priestess. There's something hidden here with the High Priestess. There could be something mysterious going on. This is definitely an intuitive card. So maybe it's time to come out behind the curtain, because in some High Priestess cards, there's actually a curtain that's kind of parted on the sides. So maybe it's time for you to come out and, you know, say, hey, world, I'm here. This is what I'm doing now. Going to be very, very well received. Some of you could be getting a new job with the scales here. So let's move on to your other cards. What else can you tell us for group? Oh my goodness. Okay. Your cards are like, do you see what I'm saying? How everything is like so jumpy and like ready to happen. So let's see what this one is that jumped out. Dolphin, listening, and number 12. Okay. This is interesting because number 12 corresponds to the hangman, which you can see this dolphin, the way the dolphin is in the water here. It absolutely makes me think of the hangman, and you using your intuition. Remember, I just talked about intuition with the High Priestess card. So listening, and you can see like the sound waves here. So paying attention to the environment, paying attention, and you're going to know when it's time to take action. You're receiving some sort of information, whether that's communication or just information from the environment, from the universe. And it's like, I'm just seeing you like kind of lying in wait. And then in February, it's like, okay, it's time to take action. So you see here how this card here, it's kind of waiting and listening. And then right next to this card is it's time to take action. I feel like something pretty significant is happening for you in February. Eagle, vision, number 13. Okay, first of all, you have number 12, then you have number 13. And once again, hangman. Here the eagle is moving, is changing direction, or maybe going in the same direction, but there's actual movement now. This vision that you have is starting to come to life. And also number 13 corresponds to the death card, which is this death and rebirth, the death card in the tarot deck, if you don't know. So death and rebirth. Look at all of the greenery here. Look at all the growth. Look at the water flowing here. So something that was once, it was maybe either stagnant for some of you, or it just wasn't the right time to move forward with it. That's changing for you in February. And it's going to be time to move forward and take action on your dreams, on your hopes and your dreams. What is the most important thing you can tell group number 1 from this deck? All right, you have number 28 in the distance, closer than you think. Wow, that is amazing, because I feel that prior to February, whatever you have going on here, it was in the distance. You could see it, you could feel it, but I wasn't here yet. And you were waiting, and I feel like you were still so focused. Well, look at these 2 cards here again. There's a progression happening, and it's closer than you think. You're moving toward whatever is in the distance here. All right, let's go ahead and look at your tarot cards. Let's see if we do it like that. Okay. What else can you tell us for group number 1, please? Thank you. I feel like that one wants to come out too. All right, group number 1, we're looking at February 2026. Can you believe it's already February of 2026? That's so insane. Okay. All right. So you have the 5 of Swords. Well, this is very interesting because this card's going to go right here. Right below this card that says a win-win outcome is forecast. However, this card, the 5 of Swords, is quite the opposite of what this card says. So I feel what this is saying is that prior to February, there was some sort of discourse. There was something that wasn't working out quite in your favor. It feels like there was an annoyance, or no matter how hard you were trying to push forward, something wasn't working. This could have been a redirection. Maybe you tried something in the past and it just did not work out. No matter how hard you tried, no matter how focused you were, it was a very, very frustrating situation. That's one option here. The other option, because this is a general reading, is that you are this person right here instead of these two back here, that this is you and you're overcoming your obstacles and you're gaining control over things that once controlled your situation. So I feel like that might be what the majority is going through right now. I mean, actually it can be either one, but you know, it's time to take action, and then here you're winning a win-win, or oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for coughing. Whenever that happens, it's like you need to release something, because it's like I cough out of the blue for like no reason other than what's going on in the reading. And so with that, I always take that into account with what I'm talking about, because it usually happens with something that's directly related. So here, what you need to release is something that was holding you back, something that wasn't working. So it's kind of like, I feel like you're figuring out the key to do this, but it's slightly different than in this card because it's actually beneficial for, it feels like, both sides. So let's keep moving and we'll see what else we have here. Yeah, see, we're continuing with that theme here. So 5 of Swords here, 5 of Wands here. Something that was once very, very difficult, it's being resolved, because in the 5 of Wands, a lot of times there's like an argument going on, there's fighting going on. Nobody's listening to each other in this card. However, in this one, it seems like people have stopped for a minute and they're listening. See, we have listening here with the dolphin. And it's like, oh, okay, let's pause for a minute, hangman, right? And let's think about things. And so what's happening right here is that these people have stopped, they're listening to each other, and then in my mind, in your reading, they're about to say, okay, can we work together? Which is this win-win outcome. So it's very interesting what's going on for you. The Star card. Wow. Once again, a win-win outcome is forecast, and it's on both sides. Look at that. How interesting is that? So, and remember I was seeing a person over here with this card? So maybe for some of you, there is someone else involved in this situation. Now, it doesn't have to be more of like a personal relationship. This could be like, let's say if you find a new job, well, that would be a win-win outcome, because you were looking for a new job, you find this really amazing job, and then the employer is going to be very, very happy to have you there because you're going to contribute a lot to the company, or vice versa. If you own a company and you find someone who's going to be a great addition to your work environment, whatever it is, I really feel, oh my gosh, I just noticed this too. Okay, let me get to that in a second. I really feel like a wish, a desire, something that you wanted is coming true for you in February, at least at the very, very least, the beginning stages of something, because remember your egg in the High Priestess card. I didn't even notice this at first, but look at what we have here, 2 telescopes. So I feel synchronicities could definitely play a role in your life in February. And I feel it will definitely be worth the wait. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. There's another thing. Doesn't February have 28 days this year? Yeah, because it's either 28 or 29, right? And so I think it's 28. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's another synchronicity then. So 28 right here in the distance. So yeah, something was in the distance until February, and then it becomes closer than it previously was during February. Wow. Okay. So the Page of Cups, yeah, I feel like you could be receiving some sort of communication, or you have the ability to move forward with something, whereas before you did not have that ability, or something was blocked, like your path was blocked or something. Now, again, it feels like you're at the beginning of something for sure. So is this whole situation going to be 100% complete in February? Probably not. I mean, you're receiving something. There's a door opening for you in February, but are you at the end of the journey when that door opens? I really don't think so for the majority of you in February. It's more like your journey is just beginning. But look at this waterfall here. I feel like what I'm seeing here with this waterfall is kind of like winter or something when the water was frozen, and now we're heading into spring, heading into summer, not literally, just metaphorically speaking, right? Figuratively speaking. And now the water is thawing out, and now things are starting to flow for you. But it could mean that something starts in February, and then by spring going into summer, you're really seeing things start to flow, like you're already down this path a little bit, because the water starts here and now you're already down here. So something to consider. The Eight of Pentacles. Wow, there's a change in the air. You see these leaves down here? So there's a change in the air. This is something I feel you've been working on for a while. Something you've been very, very focused on, very dedicated, and it's growing. Whatever it is, it's growing for you. You're making a lot of progress. But remember what I said earlier, how it's like you're bringing something out into the public view. That's exactly what I'm seeing here. And remember, I did mention like artists, if you're creating something or if you're starting a business. And this even applies like if you're getting a new job or you want to, go for a promotion, something like that. You've been waiting for this moment in February, and this is your time to shine. Finances. If this has anything to do with finances for you, or if you have a question about finances, something is happening in February that will trigger the beginning of your financial growth. So are you going to be financially stable in February? It probably depends on where you are right now before February starts. But there is great potential for your finances to slowly increase based on something that happens in February. The Five of Cups. Yes. Woo, you have a lot of fives. Five of Swords, Five of Wands, Five of Cups, all in this top row here. So it feels like, why do I feel like some of you had a redirection in your life? It feels like something didn't work out, or you had to start over with something. You needed a different perspective on things. Absolutely. You needed a different perspective on things, especially with the listening card here. Or maybe you do right now. Maybe you still need that. But it's interesting. This kind of reminds me of like a bullseye right here. So maybe you feel like you missed the mark, or you're not going to hit your target, or you're not going to hit your goal. What Spirit is saying is that you are. There's a huge shift in the air with difficulties, miscommunications, missed opportunities, or thinking you missed an opportunity. So you see these 3 cups here. Because remember how I said this water was frozen over here and now it has thawed out and it's flowing? And also, if you look at this stream of water, it's kind of like, you know, it's like an S shape. It kind of zigzags a little bit. So yeah, there seems to be, like, maybe there was a roundabout way for you to get to this opening here in February. But Spirit says you just need to look at things differently, because what is coming into your life, I feel there's this opening, but it could be that there's a couple different opportunities coming in, a couple different things that are connecting, because you have the two fish here, you have the two vessels here, you have the two scales here, you have the two cups over here that are upright, that are full. So yeah, there definitely seems to be something that's like replacing something for you, and it seems to be much more stable, and there's more longevity connected to these things than something that didn't work out. Wow, now you have the 9 of Cups. That's amazing. So I feel that you will have choice in February. This could have to do with saying yes or no to something. You're building upon something. So, you know, you have the 2 cups here, and then all of a sudden here you have the 9 cups, and actually with the Page of Cups, you had 1 cup. So 1 cup, 2 cup, then all of a sudden you go to 9 cups. Really, really interesting. Yeah, I'm picking up there's going to be some choice for you. Let's see what comes after this. The Queen of, see, another cup, the Queen of Cups. Listening. Oh my gosh, look at that, how she's listening to the seashell here. And then you have listening here with the dolphin. Listen to your heart, follow your heart. This is a great time to visualize, because you will manifest so quickly in February. Definitely, definitely listen to your intuition. Stay grounded in what your heart wants, because I feel something's happening to give you a sense of clarity, independence, and what is the word I'm trying to think of? Like a sense of direction, I guess, or like, oh, that's what it is. It's knowing that you are going in the right direction. So something seems to happen, whereas before there was something that wasn't allowing you to go forward. But in February, that opens up for you, and it's like, oh, finally, the sense of relief, like, okay, I am going in the right direction. The Empress, wow. You're going to be very comfortable in February. You're absolutely going to know you're on the right path. And there's a huge transformation that's coming in. Once again, you have two butterflies right here, which could just be indicating that it's February and that things are going to start to come together for you in February. But I feel for some of you, it could have a greater significance. And again, finances, I'm feeling finances, you'll start to feel more comfortable with finances. So what I mean by that, some of you will be feeling a sense of financial relief in February, and then others of you may not exactly see the money coming in yet, but you will have promise of the money coming in. Does that make sense? So let's say, for instance, that you have a new job offer in February. You're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So let's say that you have that offer in February, but you don't actually start collecting a paycheck from that offer until March. So do you see what I'm saying? How it could be something like that? The Chariot, yeah, you're on the go, you're on the move. Something is gaining strength. And again, look at how this kind of curves here. So I really feel something might have thrown you a curveball. And you have two fish right here. You have more fish down here. You're also leaving something behind in February. And I feel part of what you're leaving behind is your worry and your doubts. Spirit says you can do this. There's absolutely something in your heart that you're going after in February, and you're receiving it. But it could be happening in kind of an unexpected way for you, because I'm picking up something unexpected could be happening with your movement forward. And then also the Page of Cups definitely can have an unexpected element to it. So maybe you're receiving an unexpected phone call or an unexpected communication, and you may be in expectance where you're like hoping that it happens, but it hasn't happened yet. So you may be a little bit doubtful, but then something happens where you receive this and it's like, oh my gosh, like I was hoping for it, but I wasn't really expecting that it would happen at this point in time. And then now you have the Nine of Pentacles. See, I even was like, couldn't talk for a minute because you see how I was kind of surprised by this card. Not that I was surprised that it came out, but it was like the energy of your reading. It was almost as if you saw the Nine of Pentacles and you're like, oh my gosh, that's success. That's movement from right here. You have the Eight of Pentacles. Now you're at the Nine of Pentacles. So once again, there's like this movement, progression, 12, 13, 8, 9. And also, you know, all of these fives here, all of them show that there is some sort of discourse, something not working in your favor that is shifting for you. So again, going back to finances for a minute here, do you see how you're progressing financially, but it's slow? We're not going from 8 to the King of Pentacles. We're going from the 8 to the 9. So that doesn't mean that this isn't success. The Nine of Pentacles is very, very, very successful. But I'm just saying that you're not going to go in February. It's not going to be where, for most of you, where you go from 0 to 100 in February. That doesn't mean that that doesn't happen in March. It just means that in February, you're kind of getting the ball rolling with things. I feel like in February, you've already planted the seeds. Those seeds have sprouted and they're starting to grow. And very soon, it will be time for you to, pluck these pentacles and receive those rewards that you are due. But the important thing to know is that you will feel like you're on the right path, you have a strong foundation, and you're like making moves. Okay, let's get your last card. You have the Crone of Swords. Wow, so this is the King of Swords. Once again, you have two birds here. There's some sort of communication that's coming through. Ooh, and then, okay. You remember here with like the sound waves from the dolphin, I feel that you are putting energy out into the universe. So like manifesting or visualizing something, and that energy is coming back to you with these two birds right here. So I just feel like you're going to hit your mark. You have it again in this card. What was that card when I said you were going to hit your mark? Oh yeah, where was it? The Five of Cups. Because you have the sword here and then the bow here. So like the bow and arrow, you're going to hit your mark. There's a butterfly here. There's transformation. You have a lot of clarity on these issues with the fives here. Five of Swords, Five of Wands, and Five of Cups. So yeah, you will definitely have clarity on that. And people are listening to you. That's the other thing I'm picking up. Remember, show the world the real you. It's time to take action. This dolphin card can also show other people being very receptive to you, to what you're doing, what you have to offer, what you're showing the world. So February is the time for you to step out of your shell, step outside of your comfort zone, get out there and get what you want and what you deserve. So I wish you all the luck in February. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, group number 2. You have the green opal. And this is your High Priestess card from the Star Maiden Tarot. So I'll put this back in the deck and we'll start with your oracle cards. What can you tell us for group number 2? So you have nothing will come of the situation, void, of course, moon. So it could be that you are releasing something in February that wasn't doing you any good, is what I'm hearing. Something that wasn't, I'm hearing the word advantageous. So something that wasn't to your highest good. You could also be coming to the realization that your intuition absolutely was correct. So let's say that if you had a feeling that it was time to let go of something, or that it was time to shift your focus or something like that, like you had this intuitive feeling, but you didn't really pay attention to it, or you didn't listen to it. I feel that something is coming up for you in February where you will realize this. And I feel like you will be possibly walking away from something or shifting your focus regarding something. So let's see what else we have. Step out of your comfort zone with North Node. Okay. I'm kind of getting the picture here. So I feel what's going on with these two cards together. In February, I feel it's time for you to take some sort of action, and it's going to be very uncomfortable for you, probably more uncomfortable for some of you and less uncomfortable for others of you. It just depends on, you know, what's going on in your situation, because this is a general reading. So nothing will come of the situation. You see how nothing's going on? Well, if you don't step out of your comfort zone, then nothing will come of that situation. So do you see what I'm saying? This is what will happen if you don't step outside of your comfort zone, which is a bunch of nothing, kind of, right? So to stay in a thought process where you're more scared of stepping outside of your comfort zone, and then you could be denied all this success and denied receiving what you will gain if you step outside of your comfort zone. So you can choose to do that, which would be sitting here, or you can choose to step outside of your comfort zone and see what awaits you. So I don't know if that made sense, but I hope you're seeing what I'm saying here. So let's move on to your other cards. It was kind of like a tongue twister trying to say that. Okay, let's see. So basically, to sum it up, step out of your comfort zone because great things are waiting for you on the other side. Okay. So you have Eagle and Vision number 13. Okay, this is interesting because number 13 corresponds to the Death card in the Tarot deck, and I'm kind of feeling that's what's going on here. Remember, I said stepping away from something that intuitively you know is not to your highest good. So this is like the death here, and then this is the rebirth here. So nothing will come out of sitting still. You got to step outside of your comfort zone and go after what you want. And that's what we see right here. You're going after what you want. There's movement here, and there's, you know, very precise focus on something, and things are flowing here. So if things haven't been flowing for you, that is changing for you in February. So you have Hurricane and Centered. Okay. So there might be a lot of chaos going on around you. There could be also things going on that feel like they are outside of your control. However, Spirit says that the way through this is to listen to your intuition, follow your vision, follow your heart, and you will come out on the other side. I feel like you're very protected from something also. I feel this represents you stepping outside of your comfort zone. For one reason or another, you feel very, very uncomfortable doing that. But I feel one of the most important things with this Hurricane card is Spirit is saying that this feeling of being uncomfortable, it's going to pass. It's not going to last that long. And there seems to be some sort of restructuring in your life, or, you know, definitely leaving something behind and stepping into the unknown, stepping into your comfort zone. And so this death and rebirth process that I feel you're going to go through in February, is it uncomfortable? Yes, I think it's very uncomfortable for you. But is it going to last forever? Absolutely not. So Spirit is saying, stay centered, stay grounded, keep that vision as you're going through this chaos. And we'll get more information about what this is as we go forward and look at more of your cards. But this is very, very temporary, very temporary. But I feel like there's this big shakeup or shift in your life. For some of you, maybe this happened so that you step outside of your comfort zone, because these two cards could be connected. You could have been in a situation that intuitively you knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, but you were kind of comfortable there. And so you didn't leave that situation, and Spirit saw your potential in another situation, and Spirit said, look, if you're not going to step outside of this, we're going to do it for you. We're going to remove you from the situation so that you see your true potential in a different situation. So yeah, a little uncomfortable, but Spirit is showing me that it's going to be worth it for you. What else can you tell us for group number 2, please? Okay, this one's calling my attention. You have number 39, travel, pack, and go. Remember how I was saying there's like this restructuring, you're being removed from one situation so that you can thrive in a new situation. So it's number 39. That is, again, that's telling me that there's this death and rebirth. There's a new cycle, a new beginning for you. Some of you might be moving to a new location. I'm seeing some of you might have had a breakup and you're going to be moving out of a home that you shared together and moving into your own home. Some of you will be traveling quite literally. And I feel in that case, there's something about you traveling and stepping outside of your comfort zone. But when you do that, you develop some sort of vision about your future. And then others of you, I feel you'll be making a transition with your career, moving into a new office, moving into a new job, new career. But it feels like I'm getting a sense of peace. I'm getting a sense of like, okay, that's over. And it just feels more comfortable, because I feel like as soon as you travel away from this situation over here, it's almost like you feel relieved that you just ripped the Band-Aid off and you got it over with, and now you can start something new. So I hope that makes sense. All right, what else can you tell us for group number 2, please, for February 2026? The Devil card. Yes. So first of all, you have the snake here. You actually have, oh no, is that the same snake? I thought that was 2 snakes, but I guess it's just the same one snake. So yeah, absolutely. Once again, death and rebirth, transformation. And again, we're putting this Devil card right here, which is right below nothing will come of the situation. So this is kind of confirming what I said, that some of you may have a fear of letting go of something. Some of you absolutely know that this situation and the Devil card go together, but you may have some sort of attachment to this over here, to this situation here. And you're either coming to the realization that nothing's going to come of the situation and you're going to step out of your comfort zone on your own, or the universe is going to do it for you, I feel, in February. This is a positive thing because you're breaking the chains that kept you stuck here. So you're moving with travel, you're moving far away from this energy in February. And some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And some of you will feel a sense of relief that you're finally going to get the courage to leave a situation. So like I said, this could be a relationship, this could be a job, this could be if you're living in a city or a place that's just very draining, like you just don't like the energy there, you're going to get the ability to move away from that place in February. Look at that. You have the World card. Okay, so are you seeing the synchronicities? Because you're closing one door, you're opening a new door. It's a whole new chapter, not even a whole new chapter. I feel it's a whole new book. I feel you're closing one book, you're putting it back on the shelf, or maybe you're taking it to the secondhand store and giving it away, and you're starting something new. Now, this person here looks very light and free and happy, and look at this. This person is stepping forward, and look at where this card is landing. A little bit here with nothing will come of the situation, which makes sense because in a lot, like the more traditional world card, a lot of the world cards, there's 1 foot over here and 1 foot stepping out. And actually, is the traditional tarot 1 foot in, 1 foot out? I don't remember. I'm not picturing that in my mind, but a lot of cards are like that. Okay, so don't quote me on that. A lot of cards do show that. But here, both feet are over on this side. So you are stepping outside of your comfort zone. And more of this card right here is encompassing this world card down here. So it's just a little bit on this side. So yeah, just keep that in mind. The 8 of Wands. Wow. Look at that transformation. Look at that. Okay. Ooh, okay, I'm getting a lot here with this card. What you're going through is a major pivotal point in your life. Like you could look back a year from now, 20 years from now, and you'll be able to say, this right here was a pivotal point in your life. This is, I would call it a major soul growth moment where I feel you're leveling up somehow in your life. And I feel part of that is you standing up for yourself, you saying, I am no longer going to accept less than what I deserve. You're breaking free from something. So this could be a person, place, thing, situation. This could be a mindset. Maybe you don't have confidence that you can step outside of your comfort zone and make something happen. And you're finally saying in February, look, why not? Why can't I make this happen? Because I feel like I can make it happen. I'm going to go out there and do just that. So it's a major growth point for you. Huge, huge transformation. Huge. Okay, you have the snake here. You have death and rebirth here. You have all the butterflies here. Very, very powerful transformation for you. The Fool card, do you see what I'm saying? Okay, do you see what I'm saying? All of your cards are pointing to the same thing. Take a leap of faith in February. Go for it. You know why? Because you're going to take a leap of faith off this mountain right here as this Fool is about to do. And what's going to happen? You're going to fly. You're going to soar like this eagle right here. Will you know every single step that's going to happen along the way? No, probably not. But that's okay. Because most of the time, we can be as prepared as we can possibly be, and then we just need to go. We just need to take that leap of faith, because a lot of times that's the hardest part. I am feeling with these cards here, something switches in your brain, and this happens a couple times. So if you don't choose to remove yourself from the situation here, the universe is going to do it for you. And I feel that it happens very quickly for a lot of you, where you go from feeling terrified to feeling a sense of relief very quickly. And then for those of you that choose to leave the situation here and step outside of your comfort zone, your mindset switches very quickly from being terrified, like, oh my gosh, I just took that leap of faith. Did I make a mistake? What am I doing? What if I made a mistake? Your mindset switches very, very quickly to feeling a sense of freedom and feeling a sense of, I did the right thing. Very powerful. The 6 of Pentacles, you come into balance. Things start to balance out very quickly. There's something that's happening very, very quickly because the Eight of Wands indicates swift movement. Obviously, a hurricane indicates swift movement. So, something could be knocking you off your feet, so to speak, because of how quickly things happen. But what also happens quickly is balance. So let's say that you can't take it anymore and you just quit your job in February. Some of you might not even give a proper notice. You're just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to leave. I'm going to pack up my desk and I'm going to leave. And then the next day you say, oh, I don't have another job lined up. Did I make the right decision? And then very, very quickly, all within February, you have another job lined up for you. So that's just an example, but that's like, you can kind of plug in your own situation there. That's how quickly things transpire for you in February. The Ten of Pentacles. Do you see what I'm saying? Look at this. So when we look at the Pentacles here, we start with the Six of Pentacles and your very next card is the Ten of Pentacles. So what do we have between 6 and 10? We have 4, right? So typically we have 4 weeks in a month, right? So once again, this is showing that this is happening in February. A lot going on in February for you. Just hold on. Everything's going to work out wonderfully because here with the Ten of Pentacles, let's look at the opposites here. This situation over here that's going out, nothing would come of this situation. But here we have, let's start here with the Six of Pentacles. No, let's start back here actually with the full card. This is that new beginning. And then with the Six of Pentacles, you're stepping into that new beginning because you took a leap of faith here. And slowly but surely things are coming, not slowly, but how do I say this? Because it happens quick. And then here, okay, this is what is slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, you're feeling confident that things are coming together for you over the month of February. But by the end of February, you have made so much progress that not only are you in a new situation, you feel a sense of home, you feel a sense of comfort, you feel very welcomed in this new situation, whereas this situation over here, it's something about it is like making my skin crawl. And it may not be that dramatic for your situation. I could be picking up on the more extreme side of the situation. Think of it as if you have a job that you absolutely cannot stand, and before you go into work, you're in the parking lot or you're outside on the sidewalk, and you're just staring up at the building and you feel this incredible sense of dread, like I cannot go in there one more day. It's suffocating and you just do not want to do it. That's kind of the energy that I'm picking up from this card. But some of you feel more comfortable in that than taking a leap of faith, which is fine, right? I mean, I've been there before. I'm sure a lot of us have been there before. It's all just this learning process. Remember with the Eight of Wands, you're learning a lot throughout this process. And with the Ten of Pentacles, you feel like you're setting your roots in something. You can be yourself. You are so welcomed. You're so protected. Very, very protected. See, that's the thing with the hurricane, how you have centered on the hurricane card. You're very, very protected amongst this chaos that's going on. And also, if you have a question about finances in February, there's an increase in finances. So will you see that all at once? Some of you could be receiving a lump sum for something. But the way that it feels is almost like if you get a raise or if you get a promotion that comes with a pay raise, or if you get another job where you're making more money, and that money is going to, start accumulating month after month after month. And this doesn't have to be something to do with work. That was just, a simple example that I used that, we can all kind of identify with. So the Knight of Cups, yeah, you're leaving a situation that was very stressful, one that wasn't working out for you, and you're going into one that is much more balanced. It's it's just such a softer energy, and you're following your intuition. Some of you are going to follow your heart. Some of you are going to take a leap of faith and go after your dreams. But there's something here with a vehicle getting you from one place to another. It's almost like you said, oh my gosh, get me out of the situation. And that's all you had to say. And here is the horse. There you have your bags packed here and you're on your way. So some of you will be doing that before you know exactly where you're going to be going. But remember, it happens very, very quickly. Remember when I said some of you give your notice and you don't have another job yet, you just know you need to get out of a situation? It happens very, very quickly where something else comes up for you. So definitely February is a time to listen to your heart and follow that guidance, your intuition. The King of Wands. Yeah, so I feel like you start out February with some difficulties, with some problems, and those are resolved by the end of February. There's a major transformation happening for you in February. You have so many cards indicating that, and this is another one. And you come out on top. You come out very, very comfortable. And this is like the beginning of new growth for you. And it's not just the beginning of new growth. It's like in February, I feel like you plant the seeds and you start to see those seeds sprouting. And some of those sprouts are actually producing flowers already in February with the flowers here on the chair. And what is this? Some of you are going to be sitting in a new place or sitting in a new position. So that could be literally a new home, a new job, like rearranging something. The Three of Swords, yeah. It's not going to be easy in the beginning. I feel that even toward the end of February, you may have some lingering resentment. If at the beginning of February you have anger about something, by the end of February, it's more a lingering resentment. But what's happening is you're healing something that was very uncomfortable very quickly, because the Three of Swords is right below the Eight of Wands. So healing this, something that hurt your heart, it's being replaced by something that is so positive that positivity starts to cancel out the pain, the discomfort that you have here. And same thing with if you're terrified and you step outside of your comfort zone and you feel like this Three of Swords here because you're just terrified to make that change very quickly. I'm seeing it like it kind of eases, like the rain here is kind of washing away your fears and your doubts, and you're gaining a lot more self-confidence. The Two of Pentacles, do you see how you feel more balanced? You feel freer, you feel lighter, you feel like you can focus on other things than this right here. Other things than nothing will come of this situation, and the Devil card. And also things come together very, very quickly for you. Very quickly. You have the lotus flower right here. Anytime I see that, I get a sense of safety, a sense of protection. I got that here with the Ten of Pentacles. And I don't know, is it anywhere else? I think I just mentioned that with the Ten of Pentacles. I feel that you handle this transition beautifully, even though you may feel like you didn't or that you won't. You actually do. It's just you seamlessly glide from one thing to another. So talk about divine timing. It's like this ending could not be happening in a better time for you. You just go from one thing to another, basically. Because remember, I've been saying this all happens in February. All right, the Ten of Wands. Yeah, this burden that you had in the beginning is coming to an end. It is absolutely coming to an end. There's a sense of relief. There's a sense of balance, because I feel like you were carrying this heavy load. You were doing everything on your own, or somebody dropped the ball and you had to pick up the pieces. And remember how I talked about with the Ten of Pentacles? You're going into this environment that feels very supportive. It feels like just a very like loving, nurturing, caring environment where like it doesn't have to be where the people are like that necessarily. That's definitely something that's possible. But there's something about the environment itself where you feel like you belong there. You feel welcomed there. Even if you're not interacting with people on a day-to-day basis, just the energy of a building, a facility, a place that you move to, it feels like you're in the right place. And there's so much potential for growth there. So much potential. And I feel also you're going to say, some of you will say, why did I wait so long to leave this situation over here? All right, your last card. You have the Sun card. Okay, come on now. You start here with this darkness and you end with the Sun card. Do you see what I'm saying? So look at the eye here also. Remember what I just said about feeling comfortable? And earlier I said something about, I don't know how I said it, but kind of like, oh, no, that's what it was. You're going to say, why did it take me so long to leave this situation here? You're going to know that you made the right decision. You're going to know that this was not meant for you over here. And there's so much growth potential where you're going. You're going to be so grateful at the end. But it doesn't even necessarily, it's for some of you, it's not even going to take till the end of February for you. But yeah, you have many blessings coming for you in February 2026. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Hello, group number 3. You have the Rainbow Fluorite point. And this is your High Priestess card from the Light Seers Tarot. So I'll put this back in the deck and we'll start with your Oracle cards. What can you tell us for group number 3, February 2026? All right, we have 2, nope, is there 3? I think there's 3 there. You have your commitment is being tested first quarter moon. Okay, so I feel that something could be happening, especially in like the first week of February, where you may be questioning where you are or where you're going within a particular situation. Let's see what comes after this. You're very close to achieving your goal. Okay, so with the gibbous moon. So here's what I'm feeling. And it doesn't have to be the first week of February. It was just with the first quarter. I was thinking of like the first week of February. Something could be happening like that for you. So look at these 2 cards together. See, I knew that there was more to the story here. So your commitment is being tested. Why is that? Because you're very close to achieving your goal. And sometimes the universe likes to test us and say, hey, are you ready for this? Are you sure you want this? Because it's about to happen. And, you know, it's like sometimes when you're manifesting something, when you're working really hard towards something, you can see a lot of chaos right before a breakthrough. So I feel like that's what's happening here. You also have take time to breathe out. Yeah, disseminating moon. That makes a lot of sense. So what you want to do is just breathe through any chaos or any anything that feels like it's just going a little bit haywire for you, because that's going to balance out for you. Spirit says, don't give up on what you're doing. Stay calm, just stay focused. Everything's going to work out for you. What else can you tell us? So you have tobacco and reciprocity with number 39. So all this hard work that you've been putting into something, all this visualization that you've been doing, that's about to pay off for you. You're about to receive what you are due. Absolutely. Like I said earlier, you're very close to achieving your goal. Number 39, this shows me that you are just on the precipice of a new cycle, a new beginning, your hard work paying off. Let's see what else you have. Rice, nourishment, number 31. Absolutely. Look at all the fields that you have here, all this nourishment. So do you see what I'm saying? Your commitment is being tested, but you're still going to achieve your goal. And this is where things are just about to happen. Yeah, everything I've said. And this is you receiving what you have wanted, gaining recognition for energy that you've put out into the universe regarding something. And, you know, like I said, number 39, this is toward the end of a cycle. 31 is at the beginning of a cycle. And it doesn't matter that these are both in the 30s. Because we're looking at the energies here. So absolutely, one cycle is ending. And I feel the cycle that's ending is where you haven't quite received what you want yet, but the cycle that's beginning is where you're receiving an abundance of something. So very interesting. What else can you tell us for... Ooh, that one. Let's take that one. You have, let's see. Oh my gosh, you have number 3, reciprocity, give help, receive help. Look at that. You have 2 reciprocity cards. That is amazing. And it's number 3. Okay, so you have 3, 39, and 31. So 333 could be very important for you. Wow. So, you know, it's interesting that you have nourishment here and then number 3, which corresponds to the Empress card in the tarot deck, because what I'm feeling is that you are receiving what is due to you, but there is an abundance of something coming in. You feel very comfortable. Whereas in the beginning, you feel a bit uncomfortable because I'm feeling like you may be questioning going forward on this path. You may be questioning if it's ever going to pay off for you. But by the end of the month, you know without a doubt that things are starting to pay off for you. Because here, you know, it's like your commitment. So you were committed to something, and I feel you tilled the soil, you planted the seeds, you watered the seeds, you made sure they had sunlight and shade when needed, and all of that, nutrients, all of that. And then throughout February, you see the flowers growing and the plants growing, excuse me, growing. And then by the end of February, you're actually harvesting. So you are absolutely 100% receiving by the end of February. All right, what else can you tell us for group number 3? You're also group number 3, so you have lots of 3s. All right, group number 3. Yep, number 12 in the Hangman. Isn't this appropriate for this card right here? Your commitment is being tested. So yeah, it could definitely look like things are not going to happen for you when you come into February, at the beginning of February. But you may need a different perspective. You may need to, some of you might need to tweak something just a little bit. And when I say just a little bit, I mean literally like a hair on the top of your head might need to be moved a little bit, like, you know, obviously metaphorically speaking, because if a change needs to be made, it is very, very slight. So that's for some of you, and others of you, your commitment's being tested, but what's happening here? You're not going anywhere. You're sticking to your ideas. You're not going to give up. And that's what's going to lead to this reciprocity that you have here. Here's your High Priestess card. I love that. So Oh, yes. Okay. There's a couple things going on here. Remember, take time to breathe. Take time to breathe out. You want to make sure that you sit, like if you're going through some turmoil, sit for a few minutes, breathe out, take some deep breaths, calm your nervous system, and then go on about your day. Also, it seems like there's something that's a little bit hidden here. Some of you may have just been waiting for something and waiting so long that you just kind of thought that it wasn't going to happen. But what you're receiving some sort of answer, you're receiving some sort of download, you're receiving an opening, like an open door or something like that, which is going to change this right here. When it's going to change your doubts, and you're going to know beyond a doubt that you are on the right path, that you made the right decisions, that you took the right actions so far. And okay, I was just seeing a number 3 in my mind again, so I don't really know if there's a message connected to that other than March. So, and we're looking at February here, so something connected to this could be going into March for you as well. So you have the 6 of Pentacles. Again, this is a reciprocity card. So you have 3 cards. There's that number 3 again, showing this reciprocity. And look at the road going forward here. So this reciprocity doesn't end. Okay, maybe that's why I was thinking that it could have something to do with March, because this reciprocity doesn't end in February. It continues on into March, and I feel even beyond March. There could be some sort of partnership that's coming up for you. It could be a new job for some of you. This could be some sort of, it doesn't necessarily feel like a friendship, although it could lead into a friendship, but it feels like, more professional. So maybe this has something to do with work for a lot of you. Let's see what else we have. The 4 of Pentacles. Okay. So you are building, I feel, some sort of relationship in the sense that, now it still doesn't feel like a friendship or romantic, at least not right here, right now. It feels like you're building a foundation, you're building trust with something. So let's say, for instance, that you have a new job and it's very reciprocal, like you're receiving an appropriate amount of money for the job that you're doing, and you're building trust with an employer or an employee, depending, if you own the company or if you work for a company. And so you're building trust with an employer or vice versa. And you're also receiving trust because you're seeing that an employer is standing true to their promises and their commitments. So that's just an example. It doesn't have to be that exactly, but you're feeling like, it's kind of like, I want to stay where I am, and I'm going to hold the course. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep pushing forward with this. And the reason why is here, your commitment's being tested, but here you know that you're in the right place. You know that hard work that you've been putting in is starting to pay off, and it really feels like you're building something. The 10 of Wands. Yeah, why do I feel like I saw this card before in your reading, but obviously I didn't. Because there was a lack of reciprocity before. And here with the 10 of Wands, this is showing that you're doing everything on your own. But that is what is changing. So this could mean a couple different things. Let's say that you started your own business and you've been working so hard. You've been building this amazing business and you haven't received back yet. It's like you haven't been noticed yet. You haven't had sales yet. You haven't, whatever. But what's shifting in February is that you are getting noticed. So all of your hard work is not for nothing. And then let's say that you previously had another job. And this doesn't necessarily have to be about work. These are just very simple examples that a lot of people can relate to. So let's say you had another job and you were working very, very hard and you weren't receiving from your company, you weren't receiving a proper salary, you weren't receiving proper recognition, but you were very committed to achieving something very specific within your career. Like you have this career goal. Let's say maybe you want to become, like a manager or a regional manager or director or, something like that. Like you don't want to be in this position that you're in for the rest of your life. You're wanting to make some progress in your career. And you finally decide to leave the company and go with a different company. And that's when take time to breathe out, right? Your commitment to your career goals is being tested, but when you leave something and you step into something new, you become even closer to achieving your goal, and then you're in a place of reciprocity and nourishment. So you could kind of plug in your own situation into that scenario and see how that kind of fits for you. So the Queen of Swords, what I get with this Queen of Swords, it's like, if you're not receiving nourishment where you are, you're going to cut ties with someone or something, and you're going to move on up to bigger and better things. And it's that simple. It's kind of like you're making business decisions regarding your life. And it could be literally business decisions, but the way that I was meaning that is more metaphorically, where it's cut and dry. If you're not receiving what you need, you're going to cut that out and move on to something else that is reciprocated. So this could be with this situation, or this could be a side note about personal relationships or any other situation in your life in February. I feel like you've kind of had enough of certain people, places, and things that have kind of been leading you on, or saying they're going to do one thing and then they never do it, or they say one thing and do something else. You're like, look, I don't have the patience for this, so goodbye. So I see you being very, very, very decisive. And I also see that when you see something, you're going to feel that that's what you've been looking for, and you're not going to hesitate to say, yes, that's what I want. All right, the Ace of Pentacles, this is amazing. Remember how I was talking about planting over here, and by the end of February, you're actually harvesting something? Yeah, look at this here. So some of you, this may have something to do with work with the pentacle here. What's happening is there's a new foundation that's going on in your life. And I feel like with your commitment being tested, I feel for a minute it kind of throws you off. But then all of a sudden you kind of rise up from that and you say, like you kind of speak out into the universe, like, oh, really? You're really testing me? Okay, well, I'll show you. I am committed to this, so let's get moving with it already. Kind of like this energy with the Queen of Swords. It's like you have no time to sugarcoat things. It's like, okay, you tested my commitment and I proved to you that I am committed, so let's move on with it and let me have my reward. That's kind of the energy that I'm feeling here. You just don't have time to mess around in February, and that is going to pay off for you. So here you have the Tower card. So with this Tower card, this is kind of what I just said, where anything that is not aligning with you and where you're going, then it's got to go. It's like, look, this is who I am. This is where I am. I'm moving forward. I'm moving on up. If you can't keep up, then goodbye. And I feel that really kind of corresponds with like everything in your life in February, because it's like you are so ready to achieve your goal that you're a little bit thin on patience, which is perfectly fine. But it's like if something isn't resonating with you, you're just going to let it go. You're going to let things crumble as they may. And you have 4 butterflies on this card. Did you catch that? Because that's very important on this particular Tower card. You have all of these butterflies right here, and then you have the squirrel here, and then you have some nuts right here. So this is your nourishment. Something up here could have been blocking that nourishment, and you will be perfectly fine with letting it go. You see the squirrel just like, oh yeah, that's interesting. You see? But there's also like a little hole right here. And so I just feel like you're very protected and you're so ready for everything positive that's coming your way. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now you have the Knight of Pentacles. And this is an interesting Knight of Pentacles because I'm seeing two things going on here. First of all, I'm seeing that you're planting the seeds, right? And you're going forward, even though you may have a slowdown in February where things slow down a little bit for you. That doesn't prevent you from moving forward. That doesn't prevent you from staying grounded. You see this person doesn't have any shoes on, so I feel that you're very, very grounded. Or Spirit is saying, look, remember to stay grounded. So it's like you're sticking to what you set out to achieve. The other thing that I'm seeing here, which seems to be a theme that's happening since the Queen of Swords, anything that becomes too heavy, anything that doesn't resonate with you, anything that vibrates with a lower vibration, you're turning your back to it and you're moving on. Absolutely. It's like nothing's going to hold you back because I feel that, you know, you've made it so far. I want to say on your own, but some of you, it's not necessarily on your own. It's more like you put together this very intricate process in your brain. You connected the dots. I feel that some of you might have gone through like a dark night of the soul. Some of you did some soul searching. Some of you did a lot of healing, up leveling in your life. And you absolutely have zero patience, zero tolerance for anything that's not matching that level of energy, which is great. That's perfectly fine. You know, as you should. If something is trying to hold you back or it's weighing you down, it's like, okay, bye. So yeah, I feel that you're just this very powerful force in February. So you have the Moon card. Very interesting that you have the Moon card and you have the High Priestess. I'm feeling like this Moon card and the Four of Pentacles go together here, and it feels like they're also connected to your commitment is being tested. Because it feels like something gives you pause. Like you're going, and then all of a sudden, like let's say you're driving in your car, and then all of a sudden there's a roadblock sign, and you're like, wait a minute. I have to be somewhere in 10 minutes, and now there's a roadblock, and I have to take this detour. How am I going to get there? And so there's like this minute of pause, which brings in a little bit of confusion. But what comes out of that is this amazing sense of clarity about one thing in particular. And then I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. It's like, for some reason, you're more determined than ever after this happens, after your commitment is tested. It's like you were already determined before, but after your commitment is tested, you become the Queen of Swords, where it's like, if you don't get out of my way, I'm going to remove any obstacle. So this isn't necessarily a person. I was just saying that. So a person, place, thing, situation, thought, whatever it is, you just get rid of it almost immediately. So yeah, you become this very powerful, powerful person. So here you have the Five of Cups. Yeah, so this is kind of a continuation of what I was just saying. Why am I hearing May? I didn't just say the month of May, did I? Because it is so clear in my mind. I was like, was I trying to say February and I said May? But I don't think I did. I think, oh, you know what it is? It's May with Five of Cups here. So, okay, there could be something that happens in May. Obviously, we're looking at February, but something connected to this here could be extended to May, or something happens in May. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, we're not going to look at May right now, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so back to this card. So yeah, what I was saying is you're coming to this realization, whereas before you would have been crying over these overturned cups, and you would have been nostalgic, and you would have just kind of been crying over something that was not worth your time or your energy. And what you're doing is, I feel like you're getting closure on this. You're picking yourself up, and you become so much stronger by walking away from something, by closing that door. And you also realize, you say, look, not all was lost. Look at the Tower card. The squirrel still has its food here. There's still protection here. You have the butterflies, and you're still committed to something. The thing you're committed to is still there, which has something to do with like your inner soul, where you're going, things like that. And you're standing up, you're taking this cup here, and you're moving on from something. And where you're going, it's so much lighter, and everything just seems to flow much, much easier. And everything is in balance. It's like the perfect ingredients all come together. And then it's like you just flourish, just like this card right here. The Page of Swords. Yeah, so you're getting clarity. It's kind of like you have a light bulb moment. Look at the light bulbs here. And you're crossing over from one side to another. And it's kind of like once you cross over here, there's no going back, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Something is clicking in your mind. It's almost like you gain a sense of self-confidence, a sense of yourself. Also, like for some of you, it's like self-respect. Whereas before, you may have put up with being in a situation that wasn't reciprocated. But now, I feel like you're putting yourself first. And if something doesn't resonate with you, you're saying, okay, bye. Because your commitment is to something that you hold very, very dear in your life. And it's something within you, something you're trying to accomplish, or it's you. You know, maybe your commitment is to yourself, and someone or something comes in to try to disrupt your own personal energy. And by the end of the month, you're like, no, I am not having that. I'm focused on my new beginning. I'm focused on myself and where I'm going. And I'm going to seek this nourishment and this reciprocity. And anything else, I'm going to send packing on its way. So that is what I see for you. It's a very powerful time for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you ever want to book a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, which is linked below. Thank you so much for watching.